YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. So I simulated the 2025 regular season, and the results were surprising, but actually realistic at the same time. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let's take a look at what happened. All right, let's go ahead and simulate the entire 2025 regular season. Every single game, it's going to give us a playoff field, and then I'm going to predict the playoffs based on what it gives me. So this should be pretty fun, something to do in the offseason. Typically, this is realistic, where most of the time, the teams that very likely make the playoffs will make it. I mean, not all of them, and then we'll have a surprise team or two or three, which I think makes it very realistic because that happens every year, right? Last year, Broncos, Commanders, Vikings maybe. So realistic. So you can see the playoff field at the top. I already see maybe a surprise or two. But first, I want to see division by division. What did it give us here? The Bills win the AFC East. Jets second, but kind of a close battle. Jets, Patriots, Dolphins. I think that's fairly realistic. I did all my predictions like a month ago, early predictions. I had the Patriots making the playoffs as kind of my bold pick, but 8-9 is very realistic. AFC North, a tie, and the tiebreaker goes to the Bengals there. 11 wins, even with that defense. They got to get Trey Hendrickson back. Shamar Stewart, they even got to sign, but that offense is that good. The Ravens still win 11 games, but they don't win the division. A little surprising. I think the Steelers are definitely going to win more than 5 games. So that's a little surprising there. AFC South, the Texans win it with only 8 wins. I'd imagine they win a little bit more than that, but I think if there was a division where the winner would be like limited wins or not the best record, that'd probably be the division, right? Jags. I think the Colts are definitely going to win more than 5 games. That's me. But yeah, low win battle there in the AFC South. The Broncos winning the AFC West with a whopping 13 games. And I kind of did some mocks of this before I recorded to see if this is worth doing, like simulate the season. And I think the simulator likes the Broncos a bit. And they're starting to grow on me a little bit, maybe in the last few weeks or so. And they bring in J.K. Dobbins. The defense should be pretty solid, and they draft Jahdae Barron in the first round. We know the defense should be solid. Sean Payton's going to have those guys going. It feels like they have better weapons overall. If Bo Nix, it's all about him. If he takes that next step up, they can be pretty sneaky. So, got some emerging studs on their team. The best corner in football, Nick Bonitto, is emerging star. So, hey, maybe Chiefs finish second. Raiders finish with 9 wins. The Chargers disappointing 8-9, last in the division. I'm fairly high on the Chargers this year. I think they did a good job in the draft. I think they'll be better than that, but I suppose 8-9 is somewhat possible. Eagles win the East, no surprise, with 12 wins. Commanders with 10 wins. The Cowboys finished 2-15. Don't think that's going to happen. If it did, I'd imagine like Dak and others got hurt right away. So I guess that's possible. I still don't think the 2-15 is possible. So Cowboys fans can't be happy with this unrealistic outcome. NFC North battle, I think that finish is fairly realistic. I'd imagine the Vikings do a little better than that, but it's a tough schedule for all those NFC North teams. They're all going to be pretty close. So you get the Lions and the Packers with 11 wins. The Bears take that step up under Ben Johnson, get 10 wins. The Vikings at 8-9. Even though that might look surprising, I think it's kind of doable. It's definitely possible, I suppose. NFC South, no surprises there. The Bucs win with 12 wins. The Falcons next. The Panthers, Saints. I think that's pretty realistic. The NFC West, maybe a little surprise for me, at least with the Niners last. I'm pretty high on the Niners this year. As long as I guess that's realistic because they could get injured again. Same thing could happen, but much easier schedule. They feel a little more talented to me. If you put look at the draft, they draft a lot of solid players, but I know they did lose some guys. A lot of those guys were injured for them anyways. But so that's a surprise for me, but I guess it's realistic at the same time. The Rams win it with 10 wins, tie with the Cardinals at 10 wins. They finish second. Cardinals could be a little sneaky. So let's go up to the playoffs, and you see, I don't know if you can even simulate the playoffs. I don't want to anyways. I want to predict with what they gave me. The Raiders sneaking in the playoffs. Raiders are another team. I'd say the teams that are growing on me this last few weeks. The Bucs, the Broncos, and the Raiders. And the Raiders, I'm not going to sit here and say they're definitely a playoff team, but I mean, adding Jermaine Pratt is actually bigger than people think because they were so weak at linebacker. It kind of brings the defense together a little bit. And even if they lost a lot of guys, they did get better, most important position, quarterback. So they could be with Geno Smith. So they could be a little sneaky here. Should be able to run the piss out of the ball. But they got to go. They got to play the Bills in Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bills. Chiefs at Bengals. Be weird to see that in the first round of the playoffs if the Chiefs have to go to Cincinnati. I think a lot of us want to trust the Chiefs a little bit more. I do love the Bengals offense. The way we sit right now, not a lot of people, including myself, are loving the Bengals organization. They're not giving. I know they've got to do smart things though. It does. I don't want them just to throw out away money. But Trey Hendrickson, they're being stubborn with him. But the first round pick, Shamar Stewart, they're not even signing him right now. They're trying to give him an unusual first round pick contract. So it's hard to trust the Bengals defense against the Chiefs in the first round of the playoffs. I will take the Ravens over the Texans in the first round there. Just a better team. They're the better division too. I think everyone would probably predict that. Bears sneak into the playoffs. They got to play the Eagles in the first round. They'll play each other on, I want to say, Black Friday this year, so that'll be pretty fun. I'll take the Eagles in the first round, but it'd be good to see the Bears, a young team taking that next step. Commanders at Lions, a rematch. Man, yeah, the Commanders had a fantastic game against Detroit. Detroit was a little beat up on defense last year, but now they lost their coordinators. I wonder if they take a step down because of that, mainly losing Ben Johnson. Frank Ragnow retired. I know they missed him some games, here and there, maybe a little more than that. I wonder about the Commanders' defense. Man, I'm back and forth on a matchup like this. In Detroit, we'll take the Lions. If the Commanders add a pass rusher here, which I think they'll do, a veteran pass rusher here sometime soon in the offseason, that gives them a big boost. Even if it's like an average guy, that gives them a big boost to me. Packers at Rams, that'd be a pretty good game. I'll take the Rams at home. Next round, Chiefs at Broncos. Yeah, this is where it gets tough to predict something like this because if the Broncos have the one seed, that means they're pretty damn good, right? So, and the Chiefs have to go to Denver, so it kind of makes it tougher to predict. Overall, Chiefs in the playoffs. Broncos are still a fairly young. The Broncos could be a little sneaky. Again, a team that's grown on me a little bit. You still got to go with the Chiefs here. Ravens at Bills, interesting one because it's in Buffalo. The Bills just beat the Ravens in the playoffs, just at the end of last year. Ravens did make a lot of mistakes. I feel like the Ravens are better this year, too. I'm feeling the Ravens this year. Give me Baltimore, so we got both away teams. Rams at Bucks. Ooh. Let's go Lions, Eagles. I would take the Eagles at home. I can see the Lions taking a little bit of a step down this year because they get better on defense because guys get healthy, but because they lose their coordinators, mainly Ben Johnson in Philly. Rams at Bucks. So I did my playoff predictions like a month ago, and I'm feeling the Rams this year. I feel like they got a lot better just with some additions, just with a few additions. Devontae Adams, even Poona Ford. They draft pretty well like always, even though they didn't make a first-round selection. So I had the Rams going to the Super Bowl in that a month ago, but that's why this kind of exercise is interesting because you see the different matchups. The Bucks have been growing on me lately too because it's a pretty complete roster. They stopped the run at a high level. They got better at pass rush. They added corners. They got better there. Offensively, Baker feels like he's getting better. They have so many weapons at receiver. They got a running back duo led by Bucky Irving, who was awesome last year. Oh, this is tough. I could see the Bucks winning this game. I could see the Rams having success through the air in this one. If the Bucks are the 1 seed, they'd be pretty. I'll take the Bucks. They'd be pretty damn good. I can see that game going either way. Man, that gives us some really good matchups. I'm feeling the Ravens this year. They'd be home. They'd be weird to see 5 versus 6 in the AFC Championship game, and that would be the Ravens and the Chiefs being 5-6. It'd be pretty wild. I'll take the Ravens at home here. Eagles, Bucks. This is 1-2 in Tampa. Funny, it doesn't mean it's going to continue to be this way, but the Eagles, like the one team they feel like they've struggled to match up with in recent matchups, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it has to do with the Bucks. They stopped the run at a high level, so that kind of they can't stop the Eagles, right? Run game, but it slows down what they're best at. It kind of throws them off a little bit. Again, the Bucks are really growing on me lately. In this scenario, if this is flipped, if the Rams were away and the Bucks weren't the 1 seed, maybe I'd pick the Rams. I think they would throw on that secondary a bit. Again, my actual full predictions, I had the Ravens, Rams in the Super Bowl, but this scenario, give me the Bucks going to the Super Bowl. Ravens, Bucks, two teams that stop the run at a very high level. really good defensive, interior defensive lines, and I feel like the Ravens have gotten better. Both teams have gotten better in terms of their edge rush, actually. I'm feeling the Ravens this year. I'm going to predict the Ravens, but that's what I predicted in my actual season. I had Ravens over Rams in my actual full season predictions. But this is fun. We can do more of these where it's based on matchup and who's what seed and who's home. It changes things. It's all about matchup in the playoffs, so it becomes very interesting. But if you go back, I think pretty highly of the Rams this year. I could take the Rams here. In Philly, though, Rams almost had them last year. They made too many mistakes. Again, I'm feeling the Rams this year. Could be the Eagles. As you can tell, I'm feeling the Ravens this year. But if they're the 5 seed, I still like them. They're the 5 because there's a scenario where the Bengals won the division. I could see that, but the Ravens still being just a dominant playoff team, I think that's pretty realistic. Even if they get the 5 seed, them going all the way and winning it, that might seem weird at first glance, but I think that's actually pretty realistic. But yeah, like I said, a couple teams that are growing on me actually happen to make the playoffs in this scenario. Bucks really growing on me. The Broncos too, adding J.K. Dobbins. They got some guys that are really emerging. It's all about Bo Nix. Does he take a step up? Does he stay about the same? Do teams start to find a game plan for him and make him struggle a little bit? You could see all of the above, but they could be a little sneaky. The Raiders could be, at one point I'm like, they might be pretty bad because how bad the defense is on paper and all the guys they lost. But again, they got better at quarterback. Ashton Genty, they get better at the running game is so much better. And then adding Jermaine Pratt, it's not the best player in the world, but that really boosts that linebacker unit, which was pretty bad looking before they signed him. So that can kind of elevate guys around him. They could still sign a corner, so we'll see. But that's what I have. I might just continue to pick the Ravens because that's my prediction right now, the Ravens to win the Super Bowl no matter the field. I'm trying to think if the Ravens if the Ravens are a lower seed, like say they're 5 and they have to go, or there's something like that, and they have to go to Kansas City and the Chiefs are the 1 seed, then maybe you go with the Chiefs. I'm trying to think who the worst matchup is for them. That's why I like the Ravens. They match up. They can run on anybody. That the Bucs stopped the run of the highlight. We saw that during the regular season last year in a primetime game. I thought maybe the Bucs come in there and slow down the run like they always do. With Derrick Henry still going wild on them. So you can't just stop the Ravens' run game. And Lamar just elevated as a passer last year. I feel like they had DeAndre Hopkins. He's declining, but he's like option 3 or so in terms of receivers. So they got better at the edge position. Nate Wiggins taking that next step. Kyle Hamilton taking that next step. So it feels like Lamar's still getting better, like I said, as a passer. So I really like the Ravens this year. I'm just trying to think who would. It's all about matchup with me. Like during the regular season playoffs when I'm predicting. So there's really no team to me. Anybody, like a lot of these teams could beat them, right? But there's no team that's like, yes, that is a perfect matchup against the Ravens. The Bengals did put up. The Bengals probably should have won both those games they played against them last year. So having like an elite offense that can just throw on anybody, and making the Ravens play keep up when the Ravens they can move the ball on anyone. They showed it in that game, but sometimes they take a lot of clock off when they do that. So honestly, in Cincinnati, if the Bengals are really solid and the defense a little better, that could be their toughest matchup. Now that I'm thinking about it, but yeah, there you have it. So I like this was fun. I like going over the different scenarios here. We can do more of these, but something fun to do in the offseason. But we still have our regular content rolling out. We did a recent video, one move every team should still make in the offseason. It could be a signing, a trade away, extension. That was a lot of fun. Recently did that one. Check it out. Some trade videos, free agency videos still up there. More of those to come. We're ranking players by position. We did quarterbacks, running backs. We're going to do receivers next. So still got a lot of fun content coming out. So join us. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.